Hey guys, it's Helen from Holistic Vegan, and today I want to have a little chat with you about forgiveness. Today I just want to have a chat with you about forgiveness because I think it's a concept that's very, very misunderstood and one that we need to be talking way more about, especially in today's day and age of constant victimhood and people being encouraged to be victims forever and ever. Now, I apologise in advance if you hear meowing in the background of this video because my cat also has a lot to say on the subject, or on some subject, probably more to do with food, if I'm honest. But if you hear meowing, it's fine. She's fine. She's been fed. Don't believe her lies. Now, the eagle-eyed among you will notice that I'm no longer sitting at Pusheen Corner. I have moved house and I'm now in my kitchen with my lovely collection of teapots behind me. So let's dive right in and talk about forgiveness. Now, it seems like such a noble concept, doesn't it? You forgive someone for doing something wrong, everyone moves on with their lives and everyone's a bit happier and a bit wiser than they were beforehand. When you're a child, it seems so easy, so simplistic. It's portrayed as something you just have to suck it up, get on with, and do whether you want to or not. It's just the right thing. You just have to forgive somebody. That's how life is. But what about if that person wronged you in a really terrible way? What if they did something really dreadful, something abusive, something cruel, something really unforgivable? What do you do then? Do you still have to forgive them? The problem here is that most of our world religions say that yes, you do, you have to turn the other cheek, or you just have to get over it and tough. And this is the part where forgiveness starts to become really problematic and it really, really puts people off. I mean, why would you want to forgive someone? Just let someone off who's done something really, really bad to you. Well, I've got some news for you. It may be good news or bad news depending on how you want to look at it, but I think we've got forgiveness all wrong. You'll notice that people in the holistic and the spiritual or the religious communities like to talk about grand concepts like unconditional love and unconditional compassion and how we should forgive people. But we're not angels, we're not saints, we're just human beings, we're mortal. Those are really, really difficult concepts for us to put into practice. Unfortunately, that's setting the bar just way too high for the average person, and that includes me. Now, the problem here seems to be that we're taught from a very early age that forgiveness means that you get over it and basically let the person off for what they did. Especially if you get some sort of apology, all the better. No matter how weak that apology is, you just have to go with it and you just have to be the bigger person and forgive them. Now, that sort of simplistic logic might work in the playground when you're kids trying to sort out arguments and squabbles which aren't particularly serious, but what about if somebody abused you? What about if you were raped? Can we still go down that line and just get over it? What if the person who wronged you doesn't deserve to be forgiven or let off? What if that person is dangerous to you? Should you still forgive them? Now, that is the big question I want to address today. Should you still forgive them? Well, the answer is yes, but. Now, notice how I put the but on really quickly because I don't want you to click away from this video until I've finished explaining my point here. Yes, but is the answer, and it's a big old Kim Kardashian size but. Now, I want to add the caveat here that there are indeed many situations where you should not be letting people off or allowing them back into your life when they've done something bad, something terrible to you, treated you badly, or done something wrong. And luckily, real forgiveness doesn't actually require that you do that, because real forgiveness is actually all about you. All that forgiveness actually is just finding a way to let go of the anger, the resentment, the upset that you've been holding on to so that you can feel better about it. That's it. It doesn't mean that you have to let the person back into your life, even if you've been friends with them for many, many years, maybe since childhood, or even if they're a member of your family. You don't have to do that, and in many cases you shouldn't, for your own benefit and your own safety. Your mental health should be very, very important to you, and forgiveness is just letting go of unhelpful, painful feelings so that you can feel better about what happened and move on with your life. This does not concern the person who hurt you or wronged you. They don't have to know about it, and you certainly don't have to tell them about it or let them back into your life, particularly if they're somebody who is abusive or who has a narcissistic or psychopathic personality that would continue to hurt and abuse you if you did actually let them back in. What you're aiming to achieve through forgiveness is actually being able to let go of the anger and the painful feelings that are causing you harm. This is all about your mental health, nothing to do with them or making them feel better for what they did, because chances are they may not feel bad about what they did in the first place. Holding on to anger and resentment is like grasping a hot coal. You're the only one that gets burned, not the other person. You're the one holding on to it. Another really good analogy is that holding on to anger and resentment is like drinking poison and hoping the other person will die. They won't. You're the one that's drunk the poison. They're absolutely fine getting on with their lives, and you're the one that's still suffering. You owe it to yourself to go through the process of forgiveness so that you can feel better. Now, I just want to clarify that there's nothing intrinsically wrong with anger or feeling upset or annoyed or even resentment to a point. They're all very, very useful emotions that give us information about what's going on around us. Anger in particular alerts us to danger and tells us that there's something wrong. So these feelings are really nothing to be ashamed of. They're very useful, we need them, and we need to feel them in our lives. Although there are people in the holistic and spiritual communities who will try to kid you that they're unnecessary and somehow bad emotions and that we shouldn't have them, those people are talking out of their behinds. Anger is a very, very useful emotion. They're all necessary to our lives. And if you meet somebody calling themselves a light worker who says that they never feel anger anymore, run very fast in the opposite direction and don't look back. The real problem with those difficult emotions is when we can't move past them and we stay stuck in one place. We stay stuck in anger or in resentment, in upset, and it eats away at us and it leaves us in a very, very difficult, painful state that perhaps we can't get out of for years on end. Now that just isn't healthy, and that's when it becomes a problem. If you've suffered trauma or abuse, you may actually need help or counselling or psychotherapy to work through those difficult emotions so that you can actually get out of the other side. But the key to forgiveness is getting through those emotions, getting out the other side, and finally letting go of them so that you can feel at peace again. A lot of us hold on to emotions like anger and resentment out of the fear that if we let the person off, if we forgive the person who wronged us, then we'll be opening the door to allow them or another person to do it to us again. And that simply isn't the case, or it certainly shouldn't be. Forgiveness is all about finding peace within yourself and taking steps on the journey to healing so that you can have a happier and healthier future. I want you to forget all about the nonsense we learned about forgiveness as children and let go of that so that you can move into forgiveness in a more healthy way and develop a better relationship with it. Real forgiveness does not come with any strings attached. In fact, forgiveness can actually set you free. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to leave me a thumbs up and a comment below, and remember to subscribe for more videos. I'll see you soon.